Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé, latest news updates, asterisk. The clock begins its countdown the moment Annalyn steps off the plane. 90 days. That number hovers in the air even though no one says it out loud. Jovon stands near the terminal doors, pretending to be calm, pretending this is just another happy reunion. But inside his chest, his heart is racing faster than he expected. For months, their love survived through screens, through late-night calls and early morning messages, through promises made across time zones. Now she is here, standing just a few steps away, real and breathing and close enough to touch. And suddenly, everything feels heavier. When their eyes meet, there is no hesitation. They walk toward each other and embrace. And in that moment, the world feels smaller, quieter, safer. This is what they have been waiting for. But wrapped inside that joy is something unspoken, something sharp. This is not a visit. This is not temporary. This is the beginning of a test that ends either with a wedding or a goodbye, as they drive away from the airport. Annalyn stares out the window at a city that does not yet feel like home. The lights are beautiful, but unfamiliar. She smiles when Jovon talks, laughs when he jokes, but her thoughts keep drifting back to what she left behind. Her family, her friends, her country. Everything she knew fits into a few suitcases now. She tells herself that love is worth the risk, that this leap of faith will lead to something beautiful, but deep down she wonders if love alone is strong enough to carry them through everything that is coming. Jovon, on the other hand, feels the pressure building with every mile they drive. He wanted this. He fought for this relationship. But now that Annalyn is here, the responsibility feels real in a way it never did before. He is no longer just a boyfriend on a screen. He is her support system, her guide, her future. 90 days to prove that he can be all of that? 90 days to convince not just Annalyn but their families and maybe even himself that this decision is the right one. That first night, as they sit together in silence, the excitement slowly settles into something more complex. They talk about small things, about how the flight was, about what they'll eat tomorrow, about plans that sound simple on the surface. But beneath every word is the awareness of time slipping forward. Day 89 has already begun. Annalyn lies awake later, listening to the unfamiliar sounds of the house, the city, the night. She misses her mother's voice. She misses the comfort of knowing exactly where she belongs. She looks over at Jovon sleeping beside her and reminds herself why she came. She loves him. She believes in them. Still, a quiet fear lingers in her chest. What if love is not enough? What if the differences they ignored before now stand between them? Jovon wakes up the next morning, determined to make everything perfect. He wants Annalyn to feel welcome, wanted, secure. He plans outings, talks about the future, speaks confidently about marriage. But confidence is easy in words. It is harder when reality begins to test every promise. Money, culture, expectations, family opinions. None of these can be avoided now. The countdown continues whether they are ready or not. Every smile, every disagreement, every quiet moment together becomes part of a larger question. Can two people from different worlds build one life in just 90 days? This is only the beginning. The love is real. The pressure is real. And time is already running out. Morning arrives quietly, but the pressure does not. Annalyn wakes up before Jovon, staring at the ceiling, listening to the unfamiliar rhythm of a life that is no longer hers, but not yet fully theirs either. She reminds herself that adjustment takes time, that love needs patience. But time is the one thing they do not have in abundance. 90 days sounds generous until every sunrise subtracts one more from the total. When Jovon finally wakes, he greets her with warmth and enthusiasm, determined to show her that she made the right choice. He talks about plans for the day, about places he wants to show her, about how this is only the beginning of something permanent. Annalyn smiles, nodding along, wanting to believe every word. But belief does not erase uncertainty. She wonders how much of what he promises is hope, and how much is reality. Their first days together are filled with small discoveries. Annalyn learns the rhythms of Jovon's daily life, the way he moves through his home, the habits he barely notices because they have always been there. Jovon in turn begins to see Annalyn beyond the screen. Her silences last longer in person. Her emotions are more complex, harder to read. Love feels deeper now, but also more demanding. Cultural differences surface in quiet ways at first. The food tastes different. The pace of life feels unfamiliar. Simple conversations sometimes require extra explanation. Annalyn misses the comfort of being understood without effort. Jovon tries to help, but sometimes his reassurance sounds like dismissal, even when he doesn't mean it that way. Each misunderstanding is small, but they stack quietly. Like stones placed one by one as days pass, conversations about the future become unavoidable. Marriage is no longer an abstract idea or a romantic dream. It is paperwork, planning, finances, and expectations. Jovon speaks confidently about building a life together. But when Annalyn asks practical questions, his answers are not always clear. She starts to wonder if he fully understands the responsibilities that come with marriage, especially one formed under such intense pressure at night. Annalyn video calls her family, careful to keep her doubts hidden behind a calm smile. She tells them she is happy, that Jovon is kind, that everything is going well. But when the call ends, the room feels heavier. Distance stretches painfully between who she was and who she is becoming. She wonders if her family would support this marriage if they saw everything she feels but doesn't say. Jovon, meanwhile, feels the weight of expectations closing in. His family has questions. Friends express concern. Some believe love should not be rushed, that 90 days is too little time to decide forever. Jovon defends his relationship, insisting that love does not follow rules or time. But late at night, alone with his thoughts, doubt creeps in. Not about his feelings for Annalyn, but about whether he can truly give her the life she deserves. Small disagreements begin to appear, subtle but telling. A misunderstanding about money, a difference in communication styles, moments where silence feels louder than words. Neither of them wants to admit how much these moments affect them, because admitting it would mean acknowledging how fragile their situation really is. Still, love keeps pulling them back together. Shared laughter, quiet affection, the comfort of holding hands remind them why they chose this path. They talk about compromise, about learning, about growing together. They promise patience. They promise effort. But promises alone cannot slow the countdown. Each passing day pushes them closer to a decision that cannot be undone. The question lingers in every interaction, unspoken but powerful. Are they truly building toward marriage, or are they simply trying to survive the 90 days? Time does not wait for certainty. It only moves forward. And as the countdown continues, Jovon and Annalyn are forced to confront a truth neither can escape. Love brought them together, but love will soon be tested in ways neither fully prepared for. Asterisk. As the days continue to pass, the excitement of arrival slowly gives way to reality. And reality has a way of exposing everything people try to ignore. Annalyn begins to notice how different this life feels compared to what she imagined. The quiet moments are no longer just peaceful. Sometimes they feel lonely. She spends hours alone while Jovon works, wandering through rooms that still do not feel like hers, reminding herself that this is temporary, that soon it will feel like home. But the word soon starts to feel uncertain. Jovon, on his side, believes he is doing his best. He is working harder, thinking about the future, trying to balance love and responsibility. Yet he doesn't always notice how isolated Annalyn feels. When she tries to explain her emotions, he listens, but his responses often focus on solutions rather than understanding. To him, everything will be fine once they are married. To Annalyn, marriage is exactly what makes everything feel so serious and overwhelming. The topic of finances comes up more often now. Simple conversations turn tense. Annalyn wants clarity, stability, reassurance. Jovon wants faith, patience, trust. Neither of them is wrong, but neither fully understands the other's fears. Annalyn worries about depending too much on someone she is still learning in person. Jovon worries that no matter how hard he tries, it may never feel like enough. Family opinions start to weigh heavier. Annalyn's family asks careful questions during video calls, reading between her words, sensing hesitation even when she tries to sound confident. Jovon's family expresses concern more openly, questioning the speed of everything, wondering if love is being rushed into obligation. Jovon feels caught between defending his relationship and acknowledging doubts he doesn't want to admit exist. One evening, a small disagreement turns into a longer silence. No shouting, no dramatic confrontation, just distance. Annalyn retreats inward, questioning whether she made the right decision coming here. Jovon feels frustrated, misunderstood, unsure how to bridge the emotional gap growing between them. They sit in the same room, close enough to touch, yet emotionally miles apart. That night, Annalyn cries quietly. Careful not to wake Jovon, she thinks about the life she left behind. The version of herself that felt confident and grounded. She wonders if love is supposed to feel this uncertain, this heavy. She reminds herself that every relationship has challenges, especially one built across cultures and borders. Still, the fear lingers. What if this pressure breaks them instead of bringing them closer? The next morning, Jovon tries to reset, to bring back the warmth they shared in the beginning. He talks about the future again, about wedding ideas, about starting fresh together. Annalyn listens, but this time she asks harder questions. Questions about responsibility, support, partnership. Jovon answers, but not all his answers come easily. For the first time, both of them realize that love is no longer the hardest part of this journey. Decision is, the countdown keeps moving forward, indifferent to their emotions. Each day brings them closer to a moment where they must choose, commit fully, or admit that 90 days was never enough to build a lifetime. And deep down, both of them feel it. The real test has only just begun.